After further review, here on a Monday, presented by Relief Windows, Musso in for Moscona, Luke Foster, Paul O'Neill along for the ride, and we're fired up to have all of you along for the ride here as well. Holiday weekend in the rear view. Maybe you're back at work for the first time today, just getting off, 5 o'clock, punch the clock, heading home. We appreciate you for making us a part of your day. It's been a great show here so far on a Monday. And I got a jam-packed here at 5 o'clock hour. Obviously, we got to get to auto blocks. We'll do that to close the show. We have another update when it comes to the Saints win total, and one that I'm pretty intrigued again to pass along. So we'll do that here in about 13 or so minutes. But I wanted to start with some conversation about LSU football and, in particular, the defensive line. So everyone is expecting LSU to make the college football playoff. Really, not only that, win a couple games, make a pretty deep run. The investment that they put into the staff, to hiring Lane Kiffin, to the team, NIL, all those things, it is to that level where that should be the baseline expectation. And it is the baseline expectation for this team this season. Well, in order to do that, you're going to have one of LSU's better teams. And when you look at LSU's best teams throughout their history, what do they have in common? The defensive line has always been awesome. The 2003 team, they didn't stink. Chad Lavallee, Kyle Williams, Marcus Spears, Marquise Hill, really good defensive line. 07, Dorsey, Tyson Jackson, and there's more. 11, Kiki Mingo, Benny Logan, Michael Brockers. Heck, you even go to 2019. You had a first-rounder in Caleb Chason coming off the edge, Tyler Shelvin, Rashard Lawrence, Braden Fajoko. Really good defensive line. And I got thinking about this today because over at CBS Sports, Brad Crawford did a piece about SEC's breakout freshmen, and LSU landed 2 on the list, and they were both on the defensive line, Deuce Gerald's, Lamar Brown. Shouldn't really be surprising. But it's man, you look at that, 2 breakout freshmen, you take a step back, you look at everything else LSU did in the portal up front on the defensive side, and you take a step back and you go, man, you know what? For the first time in a long time, it looks like an LSU defensive line is supposed to look. This is a unit that is quick, that is agile, that should be plenty physical enough to resemble, not exceed, to resemble some of those great LSU defensive lines we've seen in the past. Now, they're not without question marks. And I understand those question marks, and we're going to get into it. But I look at this group that they've put together, and I'm probably more confident than I should be, given some of those question marks. Because while you have a good bit of experience on the inside, like the interior position, you maybe haven't had the dominance that you would like to have from those guys over their college careers. But you have a guy like Deuce Gerald's coming in who could be very dominant and made explosive play after explosive play in the spring to where he was running with the ones. Now, you don't really want to rely on a freshman to have to be that explosive, but I think you have enough experience-wise where you can see some of these guys take steps. Take a Dom McKinley. So much of this is going to focus in on Dom McKinley. Because that's a guy who is a 5-star coming out of Acadiana when he signed with LSU. He's played in 23 games over his 2 seasons, and at times you've really seen flashes. Do you remember what Dominic McKinley's first play in an LSU uniform was? You remember? He sacked the quarterback against UCLA. It was a QB sack. The first play of his LSU career. Because he got to LSU, dealt with injury, missed the first few games, made his debut against UCLA, and the moment he got in there, quarterback sack. That was one of the first moments where you go, all right, hold on. In the season finale, his freshman year against Oklahoma, he had 2 sacks in that game on back-to-back possessions, mind you. So you saw potential there. This past season, he only had the 1 sack. You look at it, you go, okay, step back there. And I'm never telling you that Dominic McKinley's going to go out there and be like a double-digit sack guy for in the interior. It's not going to happen. But that's a guy who's played in 23 games, pair of starts. You need him to take the next step. But you know the talent is there, and boy, he looks the part. You go get Malik Blockton from Auburn. This is a guy who, in Blockton, has made 10 starts and appeared in 24 games. 8.5 TFLs in those games. Experience. Is it dominant? No, but it's experience. That's also a guy who's played inside and outside for Auburn. I like that experience that you bring because that's really what you needed. In your returners, outside of McKinley, it was Sean Washington and Brandon Brown. You add Stephylon Green from Clemson. This guy has over 600 career defensive snaps in Power 4 football. 611 defensive snaps to be exact. And he became a starter for Clemson a year ago. That is a lot of experience that you brought in there to really kind of, I'm not going to say be your front line because we're about to get to Deuce Gerald's, and it feels like that guy's really going to play early and start potentially even against Clemson. We'll see how training camp goes. But I don't know how you can't look at that. Look at the size those guys bring. 6'3", 296 from Stephylon Green. Malik Blockton, you look at him, 6'3", 286. They're athletic. They're fast. That's what they want. Dom McKinley's just a hair over 300 pounds. And those guys have just played a bunch of football. They look the part. I love that. And then you get to a freshman like Deuce Gerald's, who, man, for all the pub that Richard Anderson gets, obviously that Lamar Brown gets, Deuce Gerald should probably get even more. That guy is the all-time career leader in sacks in Georgia high school football history. They play some pretty darn good high school football over in the Peach State last time I checked. That guy has sacked the quarterback more than anybody. That guy was getting reps with the ones in spring ball. And Lane Kiffin, when he met with the media, this was about mid-April, he talked about the early impact that Deuce Gerald's was making.
Yeah, Deuce has done a phenomenal job, major impact. I always talk to coaches to think about these guys used to still be in high school, before everybody became mid-years. And for him to come in and play at the level he plays at, but practice the way that he does, and says a lot about his coaching in high school, says a lot about his upbringing with his parents, because that's very unique to be able to handle all that. He's going to be a great player here, and really enjoy coaching him too because of his just mindset. Saturday night, I think I was going out on the field for a jog. He's the only one out there, by himself at night, just hitting the sled all by himself. Speaks volumes to who he is when no one's looking. What do you do?
That guy's going to play an awful lot. He's going to be really good. And what he's going to be charged with is creating havoc. Hey, man, you got after the quarterback a bunch in Georgia high school football. We need you to come do that here at LSU too. Now, again, I'm not saying you're going to expect him to go out there and have like a 10-sack freshman year. That's probably not a realistic expectation. But having him out there to complement all the veterans and get plenty of reps, he definitely can add. And if this defensive line is really going to take that step that I think that they can, Deuce Gerald is going to have to be a big part of that, as Richard Anderson. Like, Richard Anderson is going to get some time too, but it certainly feels like Deuce Gerald on the interior is going to be that guy who really gets the lion's share of the reps when it comes to the freshmen. And then again, you have all the experience we just talked about with McKinley, Green, and Blockton. Now, you flip that to the edge, and I'm a little bit less confident there. Prince Uman Mielen's going to be great. Like, we understand that. The guy had 9 sacks in the league a year ago. He's extremely experienced veteran, production, and just time on task on the field. You feel very good about that. We'll see what happens with Gabe Relaford. Obviously, it looks like he's going to miss the majority of the season, if not all of it. The thing is, you brought in a bunch of unproven transfers. Jordan Ross is a former 5-star, but That guy's got a sack and a half in his career over 2 seasons at Tennessee. Now, he's played in 22 games over those 2 seasons. That's great. I like the experience there. The production just hasn't necessarily followed. If it clicks, look out. But it's very I would say the edge rushers you brought in, they're more unproven than the defensive tackles that you brought in. So that's really where my cause. I think LSU's going to be very good at defensive tackle. My cause for concern with the defensive line really comes to the edges for me because of just the unprovenness. Same thing with a guy like with Jaylen Brown, who you brought in from South Carolina. Well, he missed all of last year with an injury. You look at Dylan Carpenter, he's played sparingly. Kalash Cobbins, obviously that defensive staff loves him, but it's been sparingly. Damian Shaklin certainly looks the part, but of course it's all been sparingly. That feels like a very unproven group outside of Princewell and Munmani. Now, your wild card is we double back to where we started this segment with the CBS sports piece, and Lamar Brown's in there. And Lamar Brown needs no introduction. We've been very aware of him because he prepped at U-High. He was the number 1 player in the country out of high school a season ago. He was a massive, massive get for Lane Kiffin amidst that coaching turnover. The interesting thing there, we're not going to doubt Lamar Brown's ability. He's a great athlete, and you're going to see a guy at his size play on the edge, and he could be massive for LSU in that role. The thing is the learning curve with a guy like Lamar Brown. How immediate can the impact be? He was not an early enrollee. He got to LSU in the summer, so when he gets out on the field for fall camp here in about a month's time, this is going to be the first look we have at Lamar Brown. It's not like a Deuce Gerald's or Richard Anderson who got to be here early and go through spring. So I just look at it and I see a bunch of uncertainty really from the edge spot. Not that defensive tackle is, nailed shut, but I think you look at it and you go, yeah, there's definitely more there. When I look at this defensive line as a whole, I think if everything comes together, they have the potential to be the best unit on LSU's defense. I truly believe that. But if I'm being realistic, do I think everything comes together that way to where it is? I don't. But do I think this unit really kind of mimics 2019? I do. I'm not saying LSU's the 2019 team. I'm saying I see similarities between this defensive line group and that one. Where you look at Princewell Umanmielen coming off the edge, that guy could definitely be a first rounder just like Kayvon Chason was for you. I look at a guy like Dominic McKinley, and I see Rashad Lawrence, a 5-star where it just took time. And then you went and you had veteran transfers up front, like a Braden Fehoko. You had those players do enough and do their job, and they were physical. Tyler Shelvin. There's plenty of them. I think you can look at that and draw comparisons to this group. And I don't think anyone's going to tell you that line in 2019 was, up there with 2011 or 2003 or even 2007. But you had a first-round pick. You have Rashard Lawrence still playing in the league. I see that. I see parallels here. And they were plenty good enough to help LSU make a deep run all the way to a national championship. I think that's probably the more likely outcome is that this unit is good enough to help LSU make a deep run. Not necessarily, maybe not win a national title. But I think what you'll see is it'll resemble more LSU football at its height than what we've seen lately up front on the defensive line, just like you had in 2019. Plenty of parallels there. I'm fired up to watch that unit take the field, even if it's just in fall camp. Because as Lane Kiffin said, it's a work in progress, but man, they like their pieces there. Well, summer's been good. Fall camp's going to be another chance to work on that progress. Very intriguing unit. Very intriguing unit, LSU's defensive line group here in 2019. Excuse me, in 2026. They were intriguing then, too. Everything about that team was intriguing, but in 2026. All right, we'll grab a break. We'll come back on the other side. There's been another interesting update and development with the Saints' preseason win total as we inch closer to training camp. Kind of want to kick that around a little bit here as we continue on AFR.
After further review.
Love telling you about Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com. That's Arco Power Systems. We talk about generators a lot in Louisiana, especially all along the Gulf Coast, where we're sort of in this storm belt right here in the Gulf Coast. Well, of course, a lot of people have home standby generators. When we talk about Arco Power Systems, these are not home standby generators. This is industrial generator power. This is for your business. I mean, just think about it. When the power goes out, be it a hurricane, an ice storm, snow like we had last year, power goes out. What do you do with your business? Well, being offline is not an option. That's why you need Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com. Just look at all the locations. Baton Rouge, Bossier, Harvey, Lake Charles, Mandeville, Mobile, LaPorte, Texas, San Antonio, Little Rock, Houston, Dallas. They're everywhere. So if you're a business and you need standby power for your business, you need Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com.
It's Dr. Jonathan Weiler. Rejuva-Me Medical's Signature Stack Week is here. July 13th through the 17th. Peptide therapy and sexual wellness medications are buy one, get one, half off. Get more info at RejuvaMeMedical.com.
What's the difference between a house and a home? A house is somewhere you live. A home is somewhere you start a family, make memories, or continue family traditions. At GMFS Mortgage, we make home happen. And our tradition is to help our clients from start to finish, whether you're ready to buy, build, renovate, or refinance. For more information, check out GMFSmortgage.com. That's GMFSmortgage.com for GMFS Mortgage, where we make home happen.
GMFS LLC, NMLS 64997 is equal housing lender. Mortgages originated at 7389 Florida Boulevard, Suite 208, Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70435. Loan applications are subject to credit and property approval.
I'm meteorologist Jay Grimes. Severe rainstorms can really damage your roof, and an ignored leak can be serious. Premier South Roofing can stop your drip before it drains your wallet. Premier South Roofing at premierSouthLA.com.
Behind every clean lobby, every polished boardroom, every safe, spotless workplace, there's Janie King Franchise Center, who takes pride in making it happen. These are your neighbors, people who live here, work here, and care about the businesses that shape our community. They show up, they follow through, and they make sure your facility is ready for the day, every day. That's why companies across the community trust Janie King as their local cleaning partner. Visit JannieKingCleans.com today.
Janie King, the king of clean.
It's time to shake things up and have some fun at L'Auberge Baton Rouge. Play all your favorite table games or take a spin on the newest and hottest slots and experience year-round live entertainment from top-name acts. Then treat your taste buds with dining options for every craving. And now, new members get $25 in dining credits. Just download the Penn Play app and sign up to redeem. The excitement never stops, so join us today at L'Auberge Baton Rouge. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
It's game day, America, and on Monday, July 6th, USA plays Belgium at 7 p.m. in the World Cup knockout stage. It's one round away from the quarterfinal. It's Chris Marler here to invite you to watch the USA game tonight with me at Pelican de Mars off Government Street. Pelican de Mars is Baton Rouge's favorite soccer bar, and they're throwing a world-class watch party for the World Cup USA game. Drink specials, food trucks, and an epic game day atmosphere you don't want to miss. Kickoff is at 7. Get there early. I'll see you at Pelican de Mars, and tell them ESPN sent you.
Since 1929, Shell has been a vital part of the Norco community. Stephen Weber, Norco Civic Association.
Shell is a great example of industry investing in communities. From the Norco Christmas Parade to providing millions of dollars annually for small businesses and organizations across Louisiana. Shell is always working to improve the quality of life in the areas where they operate. Norco couldn't ask for a better neighbor.
Shell is the rhythm of Louisiana.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Always a pleasure to tell you about our friends at the Williamson Eye Center. Check them out online at williamsoneye.com. They've got locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. On the Baton Rouge General Campus, I mean, you turn off a Bluebonnet onto Picardy, you make that right. And then right there at the stop sign, the building on the right, the first 2 floors, that's the Williamson Eye Center. State-of-the-art dry eye center. And it's full service. Of course, they have their state-of-the-art surgery center there where you can have your LASIK or whatever surgical procedure you're having. But they have your standard annual eye exam as well at the Williamson Eye Center. Learn more at williamsoneye.com. The thing I tell you every day is take the advice that I was given and change your life. To give yourself the gift of sight is absolutely incredible. If you're someone like me who spent your life with contacts or glasses, there is a way to be done with it forever. williamsoneye.com. Go see Dr. Blake Williamson for that free consultation. 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com for the Williamson Eye Center.
All right, so last week when I was in for Matt, we looked at this shift in the Saints win total. Not necessarily the number, but the amount of action that was coming in on the Saints win total. When it opened 7.5 back in February, the over was even money, plus 100. Just last week, it had already been bet on so much that the odds had changed to minus $1.20. Now it's $1 minus 25. So you've had yet another slight movement there. I bring that up, though, because Pro Football Focus, they used all their metrics and simulations and things of that nature to assess the win total for each team and project the win total for each team. And they had the Saints going over. So if you're one of those bettors that took the over on the New Orleans Saints win total, you'll probably like to hear that. However, it is over in the slightest margin. The Saints win total, 7.5. Pro Football Focus projects them to win 7.65 games. So over, but not really over. And again, it's just one metric, Pro Football Focus, but they've become pretty well respected in the football community. What's intriguing with that is the Saints' strength of schedule is 31st. And it creates a bit of a juxtaposition with another metric that Pro Football Focus released today as well, and that was just kind of their percentages. So while the Saints, they're projected to go over, round it up, call it 7.7 wins. So that's over. Obviously, if you go over, they're getting 8. Like, we understand that. But in doing that, they also listed the Saints with a 24% chance to win the division. The Buccaneers had the best at 34%. And a 32% chance for the Saints to make the playoffs. So their metrics are believers in the Saints. No matter how slim that over is, it points toward an over in the win total. And they give them a 32% chance to make the playoffs, a 24% chance to win the division. That is obviously second among all of those teams. It's better than the Panthers. It is better than the Falcons, who are going to stink this year. I'll just continue to say that. I don't believe in Atlanta this season very much. But that falls in line with the betting odds in Vegas. It falls in line with where the action has been on the New Orleans Saints. And it's just, look, we'll kind of beat the drum the same way we had. Like, yes, fine, Tyler Shuck taking the step forward. We understand that. Like, that's a prerequisite for this. But as we talked about, what's going to really help him do that is your improvement in the running game, which you have taken a bunch of steps toward, whether that's adding David Edwards on the offensive line, then obviously Travis H in there in the backfield. Like, you have really pushed forward to improving that, and you have to because you were dreadful a year ago. And you've invested in the right spots around Shuck, especially in the receiving corps. Like, receiver should be the strength of the New Orleans Saints offense this season. But for me, as I said, something hidden is special teams and the improvement that you really look to have made in the special teams units, where you were not good a year ago, and it cost you games last year. Like, your poor special teams play cost you games. You were down 20-0 in a blink against Seattle because of poor special teams play. You missed a key field goal week 18 against the Falcons and ended up losing that game by 2 points. That's just 2. We could go on. There's more. But, you gave Charlie Smith a deal at kicker and then brought in competition for him and Tanner Brown, the guy from the UFL. You got Ryan Wright, who was, per Pro Football Focus, the 6th best punter graded out 6th best among punters in the NFL. Got him, signed him to a 4-year deal. You've heard Kellen Moore talk about Anthony Jennings and Tyree Wilson, what they're trying to do on special teams for you. Like, you should be much better there. It might not, to the point where it doesn't cost you games, and it might even win you a game. So that could be the difference in winning the division or not, the improvements you made on special teams. I think that's huge. And then defense, I'm still not totally sold on. That is really the concern for me for the New Orleans Saints this year. If there is like concern, and don't misunderstand me. I'm not telling you I have no concerns about the New Orleans Saints in any of their area and they're going to win the Super Bowl. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if like there's a chief concern for me, it is defense. I don't think you're very good at corner. I have major questions about replacing Alontae Taylor and Demario Davis. While I think Sanker can do very well at star, I don't think you replace the leadership of the production that you got from Demario Davis with Caden Ellis. I don't. It's not a shot at Caden Ellis. It's not to say he can't go out there and have a really good season. I think he will. I think he'll be productive. But Demario Davis is an outlier, and that's going to be a really tough position to replace leadership position at. I think that matters when you look at this Saints group. And what also matters is, well, which New Orleans Saints defense that we saw a year ago is the real one? The one early in the year that wasn't good in the first half of the season when you were actually facing contenders? Or the one that turned it around late against the bottom half of your schedule and finished top 10 in the league? Well, if it's the one from the bottom half of the schedule, then look out. Then, yeah, the Saints are going to win the division. And I think if that's the case, with what you invested offensively and defensively against a fourth-place schedule, the New Orleans Saints can blow past their win total in that regard. I think it's probably somewhere in the middle of the two defenses that you saw. And I think that's where you look at this team probably winning 8, maybe 9 games, but probably 8, going over their win total. And it's going to really come down to how you perform in the division against the Bucs, the Panthers, and the Falcons if you're going to make the playoffs. They are plenty good enough, I believe, to do that. And now it's not just people throwing money on it in Vegas, backing it. Like, it's not just the betting public. You're also seeing metrics back that up as well as Pro Football Focus and all their simulations, projections, all the math that they do over there, projecting the Saints to go over their win total here in 2026. And if they do that, they're going to have a great chance to win that division. So found it interesting. Just another little update there, because I mean we've seen a lot of people jump on the Saints bandwagon. Well, I guess you can throw Pro Football Focus in that mix as well. All right, we're going to grab a break, come back on the other side. Still plenty to do. Still got to get to Otter Locks. I see pregame has now started for the United States and Belgium in the World Cup. Do you have a brief thought on that? We'll let you hear from some of the experts on that as well as we continue along here on AFR.
After further review.
AFR is brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, two beautiful hotel properties in Baton Rouge, the Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown right there on Bluebonnet. And when it comes to hosting your event, both the Watermark and the Renaissance are perfect. The Watermark is a gorgeous, elegant spot in downtown Baton Rouge. That wedding reception, that smaller gathering, that meeting space, they can do it. They've kept so much of the history and tradition of that iconic building while modernizing it. The Gregory is a great restaurant inside of the Watermark as well. And then, of course, the Renaissance Hotel, Southtown, right there on Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge. It's more modern. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous hotel property at the Renaissance Hotel where they have meeting space that can accommodate up to 500 people, 7,000 square foot of meeting space, perfectly located right off of Bluebonnet and I-10. It's the Watermark and the Renaissance Hotels in Baton Rouge. AFR is brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, two beautiful hotel properties in Baton Rouge, the Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown right there on Bluebonnet. And when it comes to hosting your event, both the Watermark and the Renaissance are perfect. The Watermark.
Running a facility is already demanding. You don't have time for miscleaning, sick days, or inconsistent results. At Janney King Gulf Coast, we have a proven method to solve those problems. Our franchise owners are trained and supported, and our franchise model means the people cleaning your building care about the outcome as much as you do. If your cleaning company is creating more work instead of preventing it, it's time for a clean that you can count on. Visit JannyKingCleans.com to learn more.
Jenny King, the king of clean.
Guarantee Health Solutions is guiding healthcare forward, partnering with healthcare organizations nationwide to elevate patient experience and drive growth, from urgent care and emergency rooms to specialty care. Visit GuaranteeHealth.com today to get started.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-500-8585. That's 800-500-8585. 800-500-8585.
Get your boat in at Front to Back Boat Service. Don't miss out on manufacturer rebates on everything from standard trolling motors to top-tier spot lock systems, plus all the major GPS and sonar brands, shallow water anchors, batteries, and of course, stereos, because you gotta have good sound on the water this summer. For 39 years, you've trusted Front to Back's certified marine installers for all your electrical repairs and upgrades. Get ready now at front2backboatservice.com. That's front2backboatservice.com.
Depression can feel hopeless, draining your energy and joy, but there's a proven way forward. At NeuroJust, TMS therapy is FDA approved, covered by insurance, and backed by 30 years of research. This safe, non-invasive treatment re-engages the parts of your brain tied to mood, with over 85% of patients seeing real results, many achieving full remission. Imagine peace, better sleep, and the freedom to enjoy life again. Start your healing journey today. Visit NeuroJust off Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge or online at neurojust.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Tighten, lift, and glow with our advanced skin treatments at Unique Aesthetics and Wellness. Book now at myuniqueaesthetics.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Brought to you by Evermore. Drink Evermore, EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com. For elite athletes, for someone who just wants a healthier lifestyle. Maybe you're a parent, you want a healthier option for your children. Evermore is a great option. I would highly encourage you, bottom line, if you're drinking tap water, don't. Bare minimum, filter your tap water. But the best option is Evermore. This is natural artesian water. It's underground aquifers on the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain, right there in Covington. They dug a well into that aquifer, and I mean, it's literally thousands of years in the making. That's why they call it Mother Nature's masterpiece. That's what they're pulling out of the ground. The only filtration is take like the sediment from the ground out of the water, and it goes right into the bottle. So it never touches air until you uncap it, take that first delicious sip. Learn more where you can buy it, great retailers or online, EVAMOR, evermore.com.
All right, 2026 FIFA World Cup round of 16 knockout stage. That continues here in about an hour and a half or so. The United States, they'll face Belgium with a trip to the quarterfinals online. Excuse me, to the round of 8. Let's see, that'd be the quarterfinals against Spain, who beat Portugal earlier today, 1-0 in that one. So Spain's the favorite to win the tournament, and that's would get a lot tougher if the United States can get past Belgium tonight. They are a slight favorite in this match, favored by half a goal on the spread. United States slight favorite on the money line too, actually at plus 155. You'll find Belgium at plus 175 there in that one. The big story, though, obviously, is Flo Balogun, who had the red card against Bosnia-Herzegovina. It was controversial, to say the least. He was supposed to be suspended for this game against Belgium as a result of that, so he misses the rest of the game against Bosnia. supposed to be out for this game as well, but FIFA suspended that suspension, so he is eligible to play tonight. Dan Thomas, he's the host of ESPN FC. He was on ESPN Radio earlier this week, and or not earlier this week, I should say earlier today, and was asked about the United States getting Balogun back.
It's a huge advantage. He's been one of the best, if not the best player of the tournament for the U.S. so far. And we've talked about it so much on the show over the last couple of days. There's a huge golfing class between Balogun and Pepe, or Balogun and Haji Wright. So it leaves the U.S. very much at a disadvantage. Slight favourites they were yesterday to go through to the quarterfinals. This certainly gives them more of an edge because he's such an important player to Mauricio Pochettino.
He's your leading goal scorer in the World Cup. I mean, the guy scored 3 goals so far for you. Like, that's massive. Now, you could look back at the last 5 matchups between the United States and Belgium. It has not gone well necessarily for the United States. They're 1-4 in those, including a friendly back in March. They lost 5-2. Now, granted, that's different. You might not have everybody out there and things of that nature. I understand it's a friendly, but this is the first time they've met in the World Cup since 2014, and that was a 2-1 Belgium win there too. So, we'll see, man. I think it'd be really awesome to watch the United States win. If you want my opinion on the Balogun thing, I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and act like I am this great knower of soccer. I'm not. I watch the World Cup. And I watch the Olympics. That's it. I don't spend my weekends watching the Premier League or anything like that. Like, it's not my thing. I like the international flavor in it in the Olympics and the World Cup, so I will watch that. I heard enough people who know about soccer, who cover the sport, talk about how questionable that red card was for him, that I'm like, okay, this seems like the right decision. All while understanding FIFA is not necessarily the most admirable, I guess you could say, organization. They do some pretty shady things sometimes. But, I mean, I think I heard enough people who cover the sport talk about how, man, more often than not, that's a yellow card and maybe the video review wasn't used properly for it, that I look at it and go, okay, maybe a wrong was actually righted here. And then there's the other part of me who just wants the United States to win everything, that go, good, I don't care. Good, it helps the United States. He should be eligible. Like, I'm secure enough to admit that. Like, yeah, good. This helps them potentially win and make some history. That's awesome. That's what I like watching. Like that. Like, I watched the Bosnia game. I'm going to watch tonight. I'm kind of excited to watch tonight. I think it'd be awesome to see them go through and play Spain, where then you're just the ultimate underdog at that point, and hell, see what happens. But, yeah, having your best goal scorer back, I mean, I don't have to know soccer to understand that yeah, that's a big boost for this team. So look, hopefully they can go ahead and they can knock out Belgium and go have a matchup with Spain and just keep this run going. It's certainly been a lot of fun to watch, and it's been a lot of fun to watch the country watch this run from the United States as well. I'm sure Otter is going to have a play on that game here when we get to him momentarily. But first, a message from Matt on our Rev.
Let's Rev, R-E-V, letsrev.com, letsrev.com. You ever just get super frustrated at super slow internet? Oh, we've all been there, man. The little spinning wheel, slamming your keyboard or your mouse, pounding the desk because it's so frustrating. Your internet's so slow. Storm comes, knocks the power out, knocks the internet out, knocks the cable out. You're so frustrated. Maybe that's just me because I get kind of angry about things. But it's annoying. Nobody wants that to happen. Rev can help. They're local and 5 gigs, lightning fast speeds, and backed by an all-fiber network. Fiber. It's buried under the ground. I mean, you don't have to worry about a storm coming knocking the power lines down. Let's Rev. Listen, more than 70,000 Louisiana homeowners and business owners trust Rev. You should as well. REV. 90 years of local experience. Let'sRev.com. Let'sRev.com.
All right, Luke. I know you're going to watch the World Cup tonight. That's not really a question. I mean, you had a watch party for the group stage. Paul, are you going to watch the World Cup tonight? U.S., Belgium, knockout stage, winner go home. You in, Paul? Mike, you got to turn his mic on.
If I'm being honest, probably not.
Oh, come on, Paul. We need you to watch the World Cup tonight, Paul.
If they make it to the finals,
No.
I will probably watch that.
No, come on. You can't do that. This might be the last game they play.
I'll probably be watching baseball.
All right.
Watch my Braves.
Who the Braves got tonight, Paul?
Going against the Mets.
You don't need to watch. The Braves are going to kill the Mets. You don't need to watch. The Mets stink, Paul. You don't need to watch that. You need to support your country and watch the United States of America.
I'll be rocking my red, white, and blue.
Yeah, but that's because the Braves' colors are red, white, and blue.
Very true.
I mean, does that really count?
Of course.
And I got my blue on today, supporting America. Had a bunch of red, white, and blue on Saturday. Everybody have a good 4th of July? Yeah, good 4th of July around. Paul was on vacation still. So
yeah,
so was I.
I mean, that was good. Yeah, you were on vacation. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Good. Glad everybody had a good 4th of July. I love the 4th of July. We did a whole segment on this Thursday. I think it's the premier summer holiday. I love it so much. It's great.
It was great. It was good to be out of town for the 4th. That makes it. It's good to be in another state.
Okay.
But it was I was in Texas. It was another southern state.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Yeah, I was about to say it's kind of like the exact same thing, Luke. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I was here. I mean, I was in Louisiana. We had a great day. We had a little pool day little pool day on Friday. Yeah. Another pool day on Saturday. It was great. Watched some France and Paraguay. It was on at the pool party. Yeah, man, it was great. It was a good day. Loved 4th of July. Glad everybody had a good one. Paul, I mandate that you watch the World Cup tonight and cheer for your country.
I might check in on it.
We're gonna have.
I will not be locked in.
We are gonna have a Paul World Cup recap on tomorrow's AFR. So I need you to watch the game.
That's gonna be the shortest segment ever.
Paul, come on. All right, so now we have a new reason to root for the United States to make it all the way to the finals. Yes. So Paul will watch.
Paul, get on the mic.
So Paul will watch the World Cup if the United States goes all the way to the finals. So go USA. We need him to make it all the way to the finals. All right, we're going to grab a break. Come back on the other side. Jimmy will be here for Otter Locks. We'll get his play on tonight's game between the United States and Belgium. Also see what the Otter has for us in baseball. That's next. Here to close out a Monday edition of AFR. Stick around.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Sieg near Airline, LA 16 in Denham. Mid-City on Don Moore, Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. You know those 4 locations, and what an awesome time to get by Clegg's Nursery because they still have every single day shipments of flowers coming in, plants, trees, shrubs. You want to beautify the exterior of your home. You want to add that pop of color to your flower bed, to your patio pots. Maybe you got unwanted pests like ants or snakes or mosquitoes, wasps. They can help you take care of all of them. Maybe you got weeds coming up in your lawn.
What are you doing with your tax refund? Invest it in your home with new windows, doors, and siding from me, Tommy. And you could save money every month on electric and gas bills. Check out GoTommys.com. That's GEAUX Tommys.com to get your free quote from Tommy's Windows today.
Ask your family dentist. Do your research to help choose the best solution if you have missing or failing teeth. Hi, this is Dr. Leo Reagan at Fusion Implant Center.
And I'm Dr. Michael Casadban. We provide comprehensive care from start to finish. As board-certified dental specialists and licensed physicians, we take care of your needs in the most complete manner possible.
Safe, done correctly the first time, but also here for a second opinion to help guide you and possibly eliminate the need for any redo or revision surgery.
Clearly, it's less costly less time-consuming, and with considerably less risk to have your treatment designed and performed correctly. The first time at Fusion Implant Center.
Call us for your consultation today and let us show you why our technology and expertise is superior. We are the only team of specialists in Louisiana that do what we do.
So don't put this off any longer. Call us or visit FusionImplantCenter.com, because one moment can change a day.
And one day at Fusion Implant Center can change your life forever.
At 180 Pros, you have an IT partner, not an IT provider. And when you have a partner, you have a relationship. And we all know long-distance relationships don't work. If something goes wrong with your network, you need someone here in Baton Rouge. If your provider is based out of New Orleans or Lafayette, do you really want your livelihood in the hands of I-10 traffic? 180 Pros is right here. Offices on Sherwood Forest Boulevard with skilled and responsive technicians ready to take care of you. If you want to learn more, call 225-330-2200 or visit 180pros.com.
Like most of you, I don't like billboards, and that's why I don't have any. If you've been injured and the insurance company isn't treating you right, I'm Spencer Callahan, and I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA 2620484, office in Baton Rouge.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and we do shutters too.
Love telling you about River Parish Contractors. rpcontractors.com is the website if you're looking for work, or you may not even know you're looking for work. River Parish Contractors, you need to make this call. Call Big Jake over at River Parish Contractors because they got tons of work lined up. So you want overtime? They got as much overtime as you want. So you never have to. A lot of places want to hire, give you a good rate, but they don't want you to work overtime. Not at River Parish Contractors. They got as much overtime as you want to work. You want to work night shifts when it's cooler? You could do that. You want to work day shifts? Got it. Look, there's no rainouts. They have amazing benefits. They've got PTO. If you're a welder, pipe fitter, pipe cutter, you got to get in touch with my friends over at River Parish Contractors. Call Big Jake or go to rpcontractors.com, rpcontractors.com. Right there in reserve, River Parish Contractors, rpcontractors.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and we do shutters too.
All right, closing out a Monday edition of AFR here, presented by Relief Windows. Musso in for Moscono. We close it out the only way we know how, with Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
We got baseball. We got World Cup. Who says there's no sports on in July? Jimmy, how we doing today? Oh, did we lose Jimmy? Sounds like we might have lost Jimmy. All right, let's go ahead and we'll call Jimmy back. Call him back so we can get him back on the horn here. And we'll get to Otter Locks. Otter, I'm looking at him right now. Otter's got 4 baseball plays. He's got 4 baseball plays and a parlay on the World Cup tonight between the United States and Belgium. So we'll get to Otter Locks here momentarily once we get Jimmy on the horn. Been a good show. Thanks to Chris Gordy, Locked On SEC and Sports Talk 790 in Houston. He hopped on. We talked a little bit about the conference, some SEC football, as we are just 2 weeks away from SEC Media Days. Talk some LSU baseball. The Tigers picked up a big fish in the transfer portal, obviously, right before the 4th of July weekend. Some LSU football of that AFR On Demand presented by Brett Goff. If you missed any of it here on the show, we have Jimmy. He said what? Okay, well, that's okay. I don't know I can't really fix that from here right now. Otter, do I have you? Otter?
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. There he is. There's our guy. Look at that. Let's
get to it. Look, battle of the AL East. Tampa Bay with a 4-game lead. Remember, they made up 7.5 games. Judgeless Yankees. He's getting his ribs kind of checked out. They're talking about an August return. We will see. But Tampa Bay at home, 18, 20 games over 500. Advantage here. We're going to take the Tampa Bay because now plus money some places. Going to go with the Atlanta Braves. Now, the Braves are slumping as well. They've allowed the Phillies to cut into that lead considerably. But Lopez here against the Mets at home, who's always good for an error or two. I'm going to take Atlanta minus 127. They were down 10-3 until ninth inning and finished 10-9. Atlanta almost came all the way back. Milwaukee Brewers, they only scored in one inning yesterday, but it was enough to win 3-2. They are on fire. They're 20 games now over 500. Shane Drohan against Dusty May. Dusty May's had a decent season this year, but he got smashed the last two times. 2/3 of an inning, he gave up 5 earned runs. 2 innings against Kansas City, gave up 6 earned runs. So he may be hitting the skids a little bit. It's a very soft price for Milwaukee, who owns St. Louis against the suspect pitcher. And then we're going with the Washington Nationals. Nationals are not anymore the highest scoring team in baseball. That goes down to the Los Angeles Dodgers, but the Nationals and the Pirates just finished up a series. Most of them went over, including yesterday. That's the second and third leading scoring teams in Major League Baseball. We're taking Washington at home. This is at the top of the first inning. 2 outs, nobody on for the Astros. You might have to pay a little bit higher price now.
162.
But we gave that out on the website. And let's go. Take me home. Take me home. Seattle, baby. Let's go. You Balligan's in. Let's go. Let the Belgium doing a lot of whining, huh? Come on, man. Don't be whining because we're playing at full strength. U.S. to advance and both teams to score. Parlay paying about 160, 165.
Otter, where are you tomorrow?
We're at Dozy Place on Government Street in the heart of Mid-City.
Heck yeah, man. Y'all go by, see Jimmy and Hanny for live at lunch tomorrow, 11 to 1. Otter, we appreciate it. Good luck. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Good luck, bud.
All right. There he is, Jimmy Ott. Real quick, while we have a moment here before we head out, Matt, word here on Parish Construction and Roofing.
Brought to you by Parish Construction Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Tell you every day do business with someone you know. That's me and Terrio and Richard Tilley and Joe Morales and Trent Davis and our whole staff. We appreciate everyone so much who's giving us the opportunity. Our commercial roofing manager, Matt Pearson, sent us all a text that we were just awarded a large commercial roofing job today, and they heard us talking about it. And yes, of course, at your home, any roof repair, replacement, we love to help you out. We can install gutters for you. We do soft wash, do all of it. But I want to remind you that we are a commercial roofing company as well. So if your commercial building needs a new roof or repair, you have any issues whatsoever, we have the best guy. We went and scoured the world and found Matt Pearson in Florida, and we brought him to Baton Rouge. I'm convinced there's not a soul alive that knows more about commercial roofing than Matt Pearson. So if your commercial building is having any roof issues, roof repair, replacement, or you just need options, trust me, have a conversation with Matt Pearson. We'd love to help you out. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com.
All right, that's just about going to do it here for us on a Monday edition of AFR. Musso in for Moscona, of course, presented by Relief Windows. Thank you to them for being the title sponsor here of our Monday shows. Great show, man, today again. Thanks to Chris Gordy. He hopped on with us. We talked a lot of defensive line today. Saints defensive line, LSU defensive line, a little bit of LSU baseball mixed in, which we will have. We'll have plenty more LSU baseball actually throughout the week. This is a big week there for the Tigers. Tomorrow we'll actually get a closer look at their transfer portal class. Jason Ratcliffe from 6'4 Analytics. He's going to rejoin the show and kind of talk about the back half of the class for us. They've added about 3 or 4 more guys since the last time we had him on. So we'll get his take there. Of course, Shea Dixon will be on the show with us tomorrow. And then the MLB draft is later this week. So we'll have plenty of coverage of that as we roll on throughout the week. So thank you for tuning in today. Thank you to Luke. Thank you to Paul. We appreciate it. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's evening and be back with us here tomorrow at 3 o'clock on AFR.